Mastering modal verbs in reported speech. Common mistakes to avoid. Hello, English learners. Today, we're going to focus on a very important and sometimes tricky part of English language learning: modal verbs in reported speech. Specifically, we're going to look at some of the common mistakes that learners often make and learn how to avoid them. So, let's dive right in. One of the most common mistakes when reporting modal verbs is forgetting to shift the tense. In direct speech, modal verbs might look one way, but when we shift to reported speech, they often change. For instance, can becomes could, will becomes would, and may becomes might. Example: direct speech: I can do it, he said. Reported speech: he said he could do it. Keep this rule in mind and always ensure to make the appropriate shifts in tense when using modal verbs in reported speech. Another common error involves the modal verbs must and have to. In reported speech, must is often replaced with had to, but not always. When must is used to express deduction or a logical conclusion, it remains must in reported speech. Example: direct speech: he must be at home, she said. Reported speech: she said he must be at home. On the other hand, have to becomes had to in reported speech when referring to an obligation. Example: direct speech: I have to go now, he said. Reported speech: he said he had to go then. It's essential to understand the context to use must and have to correctly in reported speech. Often, English learners overlook the fact that the modal verbs could and would generally remain the same in reported speech. Example: direct speech: I could swim when I was a child, she said. Reported speech: she said she could swim when she was a child. Example: direct speech: I would visit my grandma every Sunday, he said. Reported speech: he said he would visit his grandma every Sunday. Remember to keep could and would the same when you are reporting what someone else said. Alright, everyone. That wraps up our review on common mistakes to avoid when reporting modal verbs. It might seem a bit tricky, but with regular practice and being aware of these common pitfalls, you will definitely master the use of modal verbs in reported speech. Keep practicing, and remember, learning is a journey. See you in our next lesson.